Well, the topic for the day is evaluating expressions. First of all, usually students get confused with expression and equation. So, what is the difference between these two means? For example, of course, already you learned about the basic algebra. If I'm taking, let's say that 2 plus 3, okay, I'm not asking what the I'm not asking what the answer is. Okay. Uh, well, so here 2 plus 3. What is the answer? I'm not asking. Let's say that 2 plus 3. What is the answer? It's very simple question that it is equal to 5. So when you are taking any operations, there are four operations. One is adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. So there are four fundamental operations. Now, if I'm applying any of those fundamental operations, whatever is formed, this is called as a expression. This is called as expression. Whereas if I'm taking 2 plus 3 equals to 5, in this case, you see that there is equal to symbol. Then I call this one as equation. That means the combination of some numbers or maybe variables like adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing, if you are taking, that is called as an expression. Whereas if that is equated with something else, we call that one as equation. So first one is expression and second one is equation. Now let me take you to the next page. I'm going to write, say that an unknown value is there, add it to 5. So what is this one means? This is an expression. This is an expression. Suppose if you are given that x plus 5 equals to maybe 7. So this is pretty easy. You can guess what the answer is. Here I am taking equal to symbol. Therefore, this is equation. This is equation. This is the equation. Now in today's class, I'm going to take some questions. Those questions are evaluating the expressions. Evaluating the expressions. So first of all, I clarified the difference between these two. Now, expression means, it's the combination of numbers or maybe variables or both together. For example, you are asked that this is pretty easy concept. Evaluate maybe x plus 7 when x equals to some 5. So what you are expected to do means just copy the expression. So just x plus 7 is copied. And here x equals to 5. X equals to 5 is given. So whatever the number is given, that number you have to substitute. You have to substitute or you have to plug in here. You have to plug in the place of x. I repeat, the value of x is given as 5. The value of x is given as 5. Therefore, in the place of x, you take 5. Just plug in the value of x. What happens is, here, in the place of x, I am taking 5. And let me copy the remaining part of the given expression, which is 7. So 5 plus 7, whatever the answer is there, that's the final one. Anyhow, I thought of starting with a simple question. So this is a pretty easy one. Assume that you are given a similar question. Say that evaluate, evaluate maybe 5x, evaluate 5x when x equals to maybe 8. So first let me write the expression. Please remember expression means if two let it be two numbers or one variable, one constant, if they are connected by plus sign. Here, please remember there's no sign between a number and a letter, or else I would say that between a constant and a variable, we assume that there is a multiplication sign. There is a multiplication sign. So just I copied the expression first. Later on, please see that the value of x is given as 8. Whatever the value of the variable, that is to be brought and plugged in here. Therefore, it is 5 times. Also, you may use parenthesis. The value of x is 8. Again, I am repeating that what you have to do is while evaluating, you have to take what are the variable value that is to be plugged in the place of this. Well, so here what is 5 times 8 means? The answer is it is 40. Okay. Now it's your turn to evaluate 21 plus p, where the value of p equals to 14. And another question is evaluate maybe m minus 12, the value of where the value of m equals to negative 11. Okay, you may pause the video and continue working on this. Well, so the first question is 21. In the place of p, we plug in 14. Then we get the 21 plus 14, this is 35. And next, in the place of m, this time we plug in negative 11. So that value is brought here. So negative 11, negative 12, that gives you negative 23. This time I'm going to give you a question that contains two variables. Two variables. Let me start with a simple one. Say that evaluate maybe some 2a plus b. Notice that this time I'm giving you two variables where a equals to 4 and b equals to 5. So it is almost similar to the previous one. First, you copy the expression. Copy the expression. It's given that a equals to 4. This value is to be plugged in the place of a. We know that 2a stands for 2 times a. There's no symbol between a constant and a variable. Maybe in a layman's language, between a number and a letter, if there is no symbol, then you may assume that there is a times symbol. There is times, that means multiplication. So here 2 times a, what's the value of a? Means a equals to 4. Next, plus b. What's the value of b means? You see that the value of b is given as 5, then that value is to be plugged in the place of b. Therefore, it is 5 in the place of b. Now let's talk about PEMDAS. In PEMDAS, we know that in this model, first in this procedure, first we go for multiplication. We go for multiplication. So 2 times 4 by PEMDAS, parenthesis, I don't see any values inside the parenthesis. I mean to say many values. Then exponents, then multiplication. Multiplication means I see that 2 times 4 here. So 2 times 4, that gives me 8 plus 5. After multiplication, no division, then addition. So what is 8 plus 5 means? That is 13. Let me repeat once again really quick. Evaluate 2a plus b. This is the given question where a equals to 4 and b equals to 5. So you copy the expression, then whatever the value of a is given, that is to be just plugged in the place of a. In the same way, the value of b is given 5, so in the place of b, 5 is plugged in or substituted. Now, by PEMDAS, we take the multiplication part first. So 2 times 4 gives us 8 plus 5. 8 plus 5 is 13. Let me take one more question which is similar to this one. Let's say that you are asked to compute, evaluate maybe 4x square minus 8, where, oh, let me take 8y, where x is equals to 3 and y equals to negative 2. Some numbers I'm taking randomly. So let's copy the expression first, which is 4x square minus 8y. This looks a little complicated, but if you follow strictly the rules, then it's not difficult. So here I see that x equals to 3 and the value of x to be copied here, and we have to substitute x values 3. Therefore, this is going to be 4 times x value is 3. Don't forget, no sign. We have to assume that there is multiplication. So here it is 4 times x square. So 4 times 3 square minus 8y. 8 times, what is the value of y means? You see that it is negative 2, negative 2. Then that value is to be plugged in here in the place of y, which is negative 2. Negative 2. Always, whatever the calculation you do, you have to follow PEMDAS. So PEMDAS. So do you see any parenthesis? Parenthesis, I see only one value. Here also only one value. Exponent. E stands for exponent. You know that E stands for exponent. Then this one is parenthesis. So I see that there is an exponent here, which is 3 square, 3 square. So there's an exponent. So first of all, I have to think of what is the value of 3 square. Most of the time, usually students gets confused that 3 square means 3 times 2. This is what usually people does. But 3 square means it is 3 times 3. It is 3 times 3. That gives me 9. So once when you are done with the exponent, then uh, you write the result and do copy rest of the things like 4 parenthesis 9 subtract 8 times negative 2. Then the next one is I see that M stands for here multiplication. Stands for multiplication. So I see that there are two multiplications because 4 times 9 is here. Again, negative 8 parenthesis, minus 8 parenthesis negative 2. Therefore, I see that they have two multiplications out there. Therefore, here 4 times 9 that gives me 36. Then 8 times 2 is 16. By the same time, don't forget to multiply negative 8 times negative 2. Therefore, I repeat, we have to multiply not only numbers, we have to multiply the signs too, which is negative negative times negative. That gives me positive sign. Therefore, the negative of negative is positive. 8 times 2 is 16. Now it's simple, 36 and 16. It's easy to add them. So that gives me 36, 46. That gives me 52. That gives me 52. So this is the final answer for this one. So now your turn to solve these two questions. Please pause the video. Again, a quick tip, sorry, not tip, a quick reminder that whatever the value of A, you may plug in here, and whatever the value of B, those values are to be taken and just plug in here, and don't be in a hurry. Again, you may pause the video for a while and then solve these two and then check your answers. Actually, this is how you may do it. Especially the first question, I'm pretty sure that there are no chances of making a mistake there exactly like this. Uh, like 2 times the value of A is brought and plugged in here. So 2 times 4 is 8. Then the value of B is brought here. 3 times 2 is 6. Therefore, uh, 3 times 2 is 6. Then 8 and 6. That by adding these two, I get 40. Okay. And as I mentioned before, please check your work. 2 cube, 2 cube. So it looks like 2 times 3 equals to 6, but it is not, because 2 cube means it is 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 that gives me 4. 4 times 2 equals to 8. Therefore, this is the possible error. This is the possible error. And next, again, 1 square means it is not 1 time 2. It is not 1 time 2. Actually, negative 1 square means negative 1 is to be multiplied by negative 1. So 1 time 1 equals to 1, and negative of negative, that gives us a positive 1. Therefore, this is the possible error. Again, I am repeating, when you take 2 cube, it is not 2 times 3. When you take 1 square, it is not 1 time 2. So this is the possible, there are two possible errors. There are two possible errors. If you made this mistake, please fix it. So here the 2 cube is 8, and 1 square is positive 1. Again, it is negative 1 times negative 1, that gives us positive 1. So 2 times 8, that is 16. 3 times 1 is 3, and it is 19. It is 16 plus 3 is 19. So this will be the final answer. You may pause the video and continue working on this. Well, so the first question is, when you plug in the value of x equals to 2, the first one, therefore 3 times 2, that gives you 6, then 6 plus 10, 16. And coming to the second one, 14 minus 2y. So in the place of y, it is negative 3 is plugged in, then negative of negative, that is positive. Then here there are chance of making a mistake. You have to be little careful. I see that negative of negative is positive 6 and the final answer is 20. That is correct. The next one is negative 3 square, that gives you positive 9. Then 5 take away 9, then it is negative 4. Okay. 4 times x value is 2, so 2 square is 4, 4 times 4 is 16, plus 9, that is 25. Okay, everything is perfect. That's good.